Okay, now that we have the stock and the work coordinate system set up, we're going to start the operations for the second setup. The first thing we're going to do is face. Very similar to what we did before. We're going to go to the VF3, find the facing tool, and basically following the stock, our depth is just the model top. We're going to stop at the top of the model. I think last time we had a little bit of stock offset just to extend the width and the depth of where we're actually facing. And then finally, I did do multiple depths, and I think I went a very conservative depth of 20 thousandths. You can keep it at 40 thousandths. It would be able to clear that depth. But hitting OK, you can see that the material is faced off, which leaves a nice faced finish on this side here. Next, we're going to do an adaptive clearing, because we got a lot of material to clear out from that stock. You see, we have this material to clear out. Again, we don't have to do the very bottom part, but because that's already gone up to the height of the teeth, basically, but everything else needs to go. And so let's do a 3D adaptive here. Actually, before we do that, one thing I forgot, we have already cleared out all of these pockets, and we've already tapped all these holes. I do not want it to do an adaptive in all of this because that's already gone. So what I'm actually going to do is go to the model and suppress all of those features, even the teeth. So I'm going to go to the model. Actually, I think I need to open this up to be able to edit that model. I'm going to go here and basically get rid of the teeth and all of those separate openings right here, those cutouts of the spokes. So let's find out what we need to cut out. I think we need to cut out this. And so I'm just control left clicking these selections. I'm getting rid of not that fillet, but I am getting rid of these holes, and we'll get rid of the chamfers right now. Okay, so I'm going to do all of that and go right click and suppress. That gives us a clear thing, because we're not only going to do the adaptive, we do need to do the ball end mill to make this profile here. So now going back to the cam tab for the model, or for the, oh, sorry, I got to go back to the actual assembly, and we have this. Now we can actually do the adaptive. So we're going to go 3D adaptive. I'm going to select the tool. We're going to use a roughing end mill. The 3/8 inch diameter roughing end mill is a great choice. And so I'm going to select this. The selection, it's just selecting all of this area here. The depth, let's go to, we can have it at the model bottom, but I definitely don't want to be touching the fixture. So we can have it at model bottom, but let's have it up above, maybe 50 thousandths or something. Let's take a look at what that means. We know we've already machined to this depth, and so we could even set this higher, but we'll just do an adaptive somewhere in this region, not touching the fixture at all, but realize that it is just air right down here. But it's not going to hurt if we're deeper than the actual material, because the material ends, I think I went 10 thousandths below this edge. So the material right even here, between here and the fixture, it's air. So the bottom part is just air, but you can, increase that a little bit if you would like. And we can just use the default settings there for the adaptive. It's taken a moment to generate. but you can kind of see what it's going to do. Clean up all that material like we have. Now we're going to do basically the same thing we did in setup 1, which is the scallop with a ball end mill. So we're going to do a scallop. And the tool that we're going to use is the ball end mill, so we need to find that right here, tool number 6. And we need to go to the geometry. And again, we're going to go avoid/touch surfaces. We want to touch certain things, and specifically what we want to scallop are these areas, these fillets and this slope here, and clean all of that up. We don't need to do the top here because that's flat and we've already faced that. But we want to scallop all of those things. If you recall from last time, I had a 10,000 step over, and so we will keep that, and we'll hit OK there. We'll take a look at what's happening with the scallop. So yeah, it takes a long time, has to go around all of those times, but it leaves a nice finish as it does these very small steps all the way down. Now, we do need to chamfer the backside and so of where the spokes are, but the spokes are not visible, so we need to bring those back to visibility. But one thing I want to do is protect these two, because these two paths depend on the spokes not being visible. So I'm going to right click and go protect. Then I'm going to go back to the model itself and unsuppress everything that I suppressed before. And so I'm again left clicking with the control button and unsuppressing all of these. Don't unsuppress the hexagonal hole. We don't want that unsuppressed, but everything else we will unsuppress. So right click, unsuppress features. Sometimes it might give you a little error pop up. We'll just ignore that, because it looks like everything is good. So I'll go back and save that, and then go to the setup. And notice both of these are protected, but now we can go to the final setup, which is we need to do this little chamfer. Now this is a little different because it is a 3D chamfer, not a two-dimensional path. If you remember on the other side, it was just following a two-dimensional flat path doing the chamfer. This is a three-dimensional, and so it's going to use a different tool path. I'll go over that in the next video.